Brought to you by 1AAuto.com, your source for quality replacement parts and the best service on the internet.
Hi, I'm Mike Green. I'm one of the owners of 1A Auto. I want to help you save time and money repairing and maintaining your vehicle. I'm going to use my 20 plus years experience restoring and repairing cars and trucks like this to show you the correct way to install parts from 1AAuto.com. The right parts installed correctly. That's going to save you time and money. Thank you and enjoy the video.
In this video, we'll be showing you how to replace a starter in this 1997 Pontiac Sunfire with a 2.2 liter. This is the same for many 95 to 05 Cavaliers and Sunfires with the starter that bolts from the bottom rather than from the back of the engine. Tools you'll need are pretty much just some basic 8 to 15 millimeter wrenches and socket and ratchet with various extensions to get in and out of the places you need to get to.
So first, using either an 8 millimeter or a 5/16 wrench, you want to disconnect the positive battery cable. Okay, with the battery disconnected, you now have a 13 millimeter nut that you want to remove here, and then a 10 millimeter nut that you want to remove right there. And the trouble you can run into when taking these wires off, and you can see somebody ran into it here, there's a splice, because basically when you're trying to remove this nut here, it's all frozen together and the stud is just turning in the solenoid. That appears to be an 8 millimeter nut there on the shaft. So I have an 8 millimeter wrench here, and I'm going to use my 10 millimeter socket and ratchet. And the black wire is the ground that hooks to the body of the starter motor. So this is a Torx bit. I'm gonna remove this now. T25 Torx screw. Push it right in there really good. Okay, and I'm just gonna put that screw back in just for keeping it. Okay, so to get this starter out, we're going to remove this brace here first, which is 3 13 millimeter bolts. There, there, and there. Okay, and then we're going to remove these two 10 millimeter bolts here and here, and that'll allow us access to this 15 millimeter bolt here, this 15 millimeter bolt here, and then the last one we're going to remove, actually, we're going to remove this 13 millimeter bolt here. We'll remove this one first, and then we'll remove these 15 millimeter bolts here, and the starter will come down.
Okay, now as I finish up removing that bolt, I'll pull the starter down, and it comes right out, and there's your starter out of the car.
So now here on the bench, basically you want to remove this bracket, which is two 10 millimeter bolts. Okay, and that one broke off. Okay, and you remove this bracket. Okay, so you can see here's the new starter from 1A Auto and the old starter, and everything is all the same. We are going to mount this bracket. The new starter came with a bolt on this side, so we're actually going to steal this bolt from our old one. Okay. So we'll swap those out, do the same thing. Okay, and then this bracket goes on like that. We're going to put them on, but we're going to leave them a little bit loose so that we can put it all together, and then we'll tighten the bracket up once everything's mounted in the car. Our new starter with the bracket. Put it up in there. Okay, make sure all the wires are kind of out of the way. Okay, and I'm going to push it up on with my longest bolt. Just basically kind of keep working it until I work that bolt in. Now let's thread it in a little bit so that'll stay. Take the next bolt, push it up in, get it started. Take our bracket bolt. Bracket bolt some. Tighten up our starter bolts just preliminarily. Our torque wrench set to 40 foot-pounds to tighten up these bolts. Tighten up this bracket bolt, and it should be about 40 foot-pounds as well, but I'm just going to get it tight. It's not that crucial that it's the perfect torque. Okay, now I can tighten up these bracket bolts here. These bolts you just want snug, they don't have to be extremely tight at all. Okay, and before I do this one, you may notice your starter may be a little different. The starter doesn't have the provision to put this strap on, so I'm going to hook it right to the end here. Okay, so now we can see well enough here. I'm just going to hook all this stuff on. Okay, so here's my small solenoid stud, so I can put this red / purple wire on there. Okay, and then my large stud has the 3 wires going to it. Tighten up our little one here.
Okay, now here in the interest of time, I'm just going to speed through. Here we're reinstalling the brace that runs from the front of the engine to the back. And then we'll also speed through putting the 2 10mm bolts on that hold the transmission cover plate to the bell housing.
Okay, now we'll lower it down, connect the battery, and
we hope this helps you out.
Make sure everything's working.
Brought to you by www.1aauto.com, your source for quality replacement parts and the best service on the internet. Please feel free to call us toll free 888-844-3393. We're the company that's here for you on the internet and in person.